Hello, everyone, and welcome to National Apprenticeship Week. I'm your host, Ali from Career Map Tide TV, and today we're joined by the Bentley team to discuss their apprenticeships they have to offer at Bentley. During this session, we'll learn more about the specific ins and outs of the Bentley apprenticeships and what it's like to work at Bentley. There will be a Q&A at the end of the webinar, so feel free to leave any questions in the chat box, and I'll come back to them at the end of the webinar. So without further ado, I'll pass on to the Bentley team to commence their session. Off you go, guys.
Well, good morning, everyone. If you can switch your camera on in the manager and apprentice room. Many thanks. So thanks very much for joining us today. We are here to discuss apprenticeships at Bentley Motors. So a very warm welcome to you all. And we would like to just say that we'll keep you muted throughout the webinar. If you've got any questions, please feel free to put some questions in the Q&A. If you've got a little bit of a chat or an opinion, by all means, chat away in the chat function. Any questions, please don't hesitate to pop them into the chat. So my name is Wendy Hadway, and I'm the Early Careers Manager at Early Career Specialist at Bentley Motors. And our Early Careers Manager is Sophie Baldock. And today we've got Ash Mason, and he's the other early career specialist. So we've got a great early careers team at Bentley that support you.
Morning, everyone.
In the room, we'll be introducing them all in a second, but I just wanted to just give you a brief overview of Bentley apprenticeships, and then we'll move into a panel discussion with everybody in the room, and we'll ask some questions about hiring managers, their perspective, and we'll also ask some questions from the apprentices and what how things are going with their training providers, etc. Okay, so let's move along. So we're going to look at the contents of this is about the Bentley, our extraordinary brand, a little bit about Beyond 100 strategy, the apprenticeships at Bentley that are available today. They've gone live this morning, and what we can offer you as a colleague, and the recruitment process, and what makes a strong application. So Bentley was founded in 1919 by W.O. Bentley, and he became renowned for the extraordinary cars, innovative engineering, the highest quality of craftsmanship. Our customers were equally renowned and helped cement Bentley's reputation for high performance with their racing exploits. Today, Bentley benefits from being part of the VW Group since 1998, opening up a world of opportunities, experience and support. We are part of these luxury brands, all of the 12 automotive brands here, Porsche, Bugatti, Lamborghini, Audi, VW, Seat, Skoda, MAN Trucks, Ducati and Scania. So literally the whole world of opportunities for our Bentley colleagues. I'm just going to play you a quick video. Okay, hopefully you saw the video on there. So I would like to just confirm that Bentley's factory is located in Crewe, Cheshire, and all of our functions are on one site. In Crewe, there is a number of highly skilled trades such as wood, soap, paint and assembly, and the digital innovation to create the balance of performance, luxury and connectivity that makes our products so special. Our supporting functions such as HR, purchasing, digital and project management also help to drive the business forward. At Bentley, we have a long tradition of supporting apprenticeships, and we normally intake between 20 and 60 each year. And this year is no exception. We are taking another great intake. So the apprentices are the great community, and they have a fantastic peer support and network to support each other. The support for study and work is just about everything is not too far away from you with the early careers team, your manager and your training providers. In 2019, Bentley celebrated its 100 extraordinary years with the launch of the Beyond 100 strategy. And this is going to be transforming the 100-year-old company into the new sustainable, wholly ethical model for luxury. We have 300,000 bees plus living on our site with over 2,500 plants that recirculate our fresh air, making the really nice environment for our colleagues, networks and visitors. Our solar farm as well is one of the largest rooftop farms in Europe, and it now spans across our factory, car park and over 75% of renewable energy to run our factory. And we're also working hard with supply chains to reduce the CO2 emission. So absolutely amazing sustainability program. We have a number of apprenticeships available, which is where I want to go next. So we've got the pathways within the different functions across manufacturing, engineering, business, digital and project management. You'll all be working towards an externally recognised qualification whilst developing your skills and knowledge within your off-the-job training and experiences within Bentley. So these are the actual apprenticeships that are available today, and they're on our website at bentleycareers.com. We have intermediate apprenticeships, which are aimed at 16 plus, just straight out of school. But anybody can apply for an apprenticeship, any age, 16 plus. And we've got level 3, BTEC A-level for your advanced on engineering technician and heritage engineering technician. So if you were interested in that, you would still do GCSEs to go into that advanced apprenticeship from 16 plus. If you wanted to do the higher apprenticeship, we've got a manager here today to talk about the new apprenticeship that we've got available and the HR consultant partner. And we've also got a level 4 professional accounting or taxation technician too. Those qualifications you'll need are at least GCSE, and the time period on those are ranging between 2 and 4 years for those particular ones. On the degree side, we have a number of degree apprenticeships from manufacturing engineering, product design and development engineer, electrical and electronic technical support engineer, chartered manager, digital and technology solutions professional, project manager, supply chain leadership, and a data scientist. And all of those links in this presentation are actually direct to the Institute for Apprenticeships, so you can find out a lot more information about what's entailed on your learning and the knowledge, skills and behaviours that you'll go through on those particular apprenticeships. So what do we offer at Bentley? So we offer a really competitive early career salary. We offer 24 days annual leave on top of bank holidays at Christmas. And then we've got a dedicated early careers team ourselves to support the personal and professional development throughout your programme. And we obviously give you the opportunity to do day-to-day learning with industry leading experts, not just only in your home departments, but also your functions. And then we also encourage you to collaborate with Bentley colleagues across the site. on gym and sport facilities we've got Costa, we've got Starbucks, and they're both subsidised for being employees at Bentley. We also do health and wellbeing services on site, so we've got our own occupational health, and we are strongly encouraging support on the wellbeing, on the mental, social and financial side of things. To also support that, we have our own colleague-led networks. We've got Be United, Be Inspired, Be Accessible, Be Proud and Be Ready. There is a theme going on there. We are colleagues that are helping shape and scope the future of Bentley with diversity and inclusion, and there's a lot of good work that goes into that. One of the networks, Be Accessible, I'm helping co-chair that with health and wellbeing to help support the business with their health and safety strategy moving forward. And so you can actually join one of those groups if you're passionate about any of those in particular. So moving to the recruitment process, we have applications open right now, and you can go onto the bentleycareers.com website, and you will be requesting to upload your CV and cover letter. I strongly recommend that you put on a cover letter to support that CV, and the applications will close in 2 weeks' time. If there is a number of applications, they can close early, so I would encourage you to get those applications on as soon as possible. If you are shortlisted, the talent acquisition team goes through that shortlisting process with the hiring managers. We have some hiring managers on today, so if you've got any questions, please ask away. That's what we're here for today, to answer those questions. You will then be invited to an online assessment where you'll be asked to do a competency interview, which is questions about you and your behaviours, and just some examples. Please use the STAR method and research that STAR method. I can't stress enough how important it is to have a structure against your answers. You will also be given a technical presentation, which is a question about probably something about yourself, and how would you deal with a problem, or have you faced a challenge in the past, or have you had a really positive experience, and then we would ask you to present that for 15 minutes, and then there'll be questions at the end of it. Then there'll be a session of a Q&A for you to speak to the managers, because obviously we have to be a good fit for you, and you are obviously going to have questions, so you can answer those on the online assessment. If you are successful, an offer will be made by the talent acquisition team, and they'll discuss the specifics of your offer. That contract will come out to you digitally, and it'll be through our HR system, SuccessFactors. On the onboarding experience, we will be getting heavily involved. Well, Ash will be organising it this year, so just over the summer period, what we call Keep Warm process, we'll be inviting you on site and visiting other colleagues, early career colleagues, to answer those questions that you may have. We will also obviously do a robust induction so that you feel comfortable from day one. What makes a strong application? So we want you to be adaptable and flexible, and digital and agile mindset is really, really important. So finding those solutions. You might think, oh, I don't know whether I'm agile, I don't know whether I'm, analytical, the entrepreneurial actions and things, but I'm sure that if you discuss things that you've done outside of your school, extracurriculum, I'm sure that you've been innovative, and you may have done some really good analytical thinking when you've been on a gaming, or, just try and connect it to the real world. And that's okay. You can give answers about anything outside of school. And really what we want to know is, we want to know about you as an individual, anything that's outside the extra qualifications that you would have anyway. So thinking outside the box is absolutely important. So make that CV stand out. We want it to, have your unique selling point, because I'm sure you've got some characteristics that make you stand out. As I said before, the strong cover letter is absolutely critical, and we need it to be tailored to the company that you're actually applying for, because there's nothing worse than just saying, please find attached my CV. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't say anything about the actual application that you're putting through. So just be realistic and make sure that the star qualities are in there, and you can back up anything that's in that CV. So this is the important slide. It's got our QR code that gives you access to this particular presentation, and we would encourage you to download this as soon as possible, and also you can look at those links within that presentation about the detail behind the apprenticeships at Bentley. And we would also encourage you to follow us at Bentley Careers on Twitter, and also sign up for alerts on bentleycareers.com. Okay, so we'll just stop presenting, and we'd like to just move into a discussion with our managers and apprentices. So if I can ask you around the room to introduce yourselves, which function you're in, whether you're a manager or you're an apprentice, and a bit more detail about about yourselves. Over to you guys.
So my name's Ben Sargent. I'm here as a manager in the HR function.
Okay, Carl Ribbit. I've been here for 36 years, started as an apprentice. So I know what it feels to come into a company like this. I've also been here for quite a long time. It's a really good apprenticeship. I'm in electrical engineering in the design and development department.
My name's Toby Marsden. I'm a project management degree apprentice. I've been here just over a year and 5 months.
I'm David Hollins. I do a supply chain leadership apprenticeship. Again, I've been here for 3 years, and this is the final year of my apprenticeship.
Hi, I'm Sharon Stinton. I'm the production manager over on the Sew line. So we produce the interior for the cars. I've actually been here 20 years myself.
Hi guys, I'm Melanie, and I'm a second year degree apprentice in quality planning.
Hi, I'm Neve Frogley. I started Bentley in 2019 on a level 4 higher data analytics apprenticeship, and have since moved on to a degree data science apprenticeship. So I'm in my second year.
Morning everyone, I'm Jeremy Taylor. I'm manager of the weight management and attributes management functions in research and development. So we look at what makes a really good car, what makes a good Bentley, how does it compare to our competitors. So we look at everything from Ferraris to Rolls Royces and understand what we can learn from them, how our customers use the cars, and try and make our cars even more extraordinary than they are today.
Morning everyone, I'm Harry Walker. I started around 18 months ago, and I do the level 2 lean manufacturing operative apprenticeship. I'm in my final year now, and I work in the wood shop.
Brilliant, thanks ever so much. And Ash, can I hand over to you to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so hi everyone, my name is Ash Mason, and I'm the early career specialist in the team.
Yeah, and so you joined, didn't you, as an intern as well?
Yeah, so I joined as an intern and moved on to the graduate programme before securing a permanent position within the team. So yeah, I'm a good prime example of the development that Bentley put into and the time and effort that they put into as well.
Fantastic. So I'm going to direct some questions to the managers in the room. So in a nutshell, what does your department do, and what function is it in? So can I go over to Carl?
Yeah.
If you can go over to your department.
Yes, the engineering department globally, obviously we design, engineer, and bring forward all the designs on the cars. My actual department is electrical engineering, as I mentioned before. And in the electrical engineering, we look after all the electrical components, so ECUs, the harnesses, the switches, which that's in my department, switches and controls. the headlights, and all the integration with the car as well. So we look at how all the components and systems in the car communicate and make sure we bring those forward and validate those into the car. Now, it's not just control boxes and how they communicate. But for example, in my team, we deal with the actual design of the car. So it's not just the leather and the wood in the car, which is other areas of design as well. But the electrical components, for example, some of my controls, the customers see them, they operate them, they touch them, they have to be luxury, they have to be quality. And we're involved right at the start with the designers, with the clay models, all the way through from designing, concept designs, confirming the feasibility of the design. The integration across the car is obviously critical to make sure the electronics and the software align with each other. And then we go into actually project managing the suppliers that deliver the parts. So it's not just about electronics, but also manufacturing processes, injection molded parts, assemblies, making sure the parts fit to the car, can be removed correctly. So manufacturing, and we can do a good build process as well. And all the way through to producing the parts, getting them in on time, ready for the projects and the milestones in the projects for validation. And that's a key thing as well, to make sure that everything functions correctly, works correctly, feels and looks luxury as well. And we obviously test the cars, and we work with our group partners as well. There's also some international travel as well, so where we're managing suppliers. We have some suppliers in China, across Europe, and that's part of the job as well, the global position. So quite global from start to finish on a vehicle project. And also we look after current model projects as well. So any problems out in the field, anything to do with warranty, we support that as well. And yes, it's a very global job. Plus, you touch a lot of areas of the rest of the business. And when you come into an apprenticeship in engineering, we'll put you in placements across the business to understand what goes on there. So from finance to purchase to the designers with the clay models, as I mentioned, and other areas as well that we touch. So project management, etc.
Yeah, that's good to know. Because I noticed that your apprenticeship is the product design and development engineer.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. So in my department, it's the controls and the switches. So from roof modules to seat switches to the air conditioning controls, steering wheel, indicator levers. If you think about a car, there's a lot of controls everywhere, even basic ones in the boot. So we own all these, including gear levers, USBs, inductive chargers, keys, a lot of components that are covered, a lot of components that the customers touch, feel, and interact with the car. So a lot of inputs to the car. So that's within my team, and yeah, we design, develop, and as I say, validate them into the vehicle. A lot of them have electronics nowadays as well. So the little ECUs in the car.
Yeah, it sounds absolutely amazing. Like we say, we're moving towards electrification within our Beyond 100 strategy. We're going to be hybrid by 2026. So obviously the importance of the future skills for these product and design and development engineers moving forward is a very exciting time to join the business. So thanks for that, Carl. Ben, same to you. What does your department do in a nutshell? What will the apprentice be doing in your department?
Yes, so I'm here today from the HR function. The apprentice would be in my team in what we call the Colleague Experience Centre, and they become accountable for the end-to-end colleague life cycle for every single Bentley employee, so well over 4,000 people across the business, and that's everything really in a nutshell from hire to retire. That person will be able to get involved with everything that comes across a really strong HR function that we have here at Bentley, with also the learnings that we get from the rest of our VW Group colleagues. It is a role that really requires someone with an ability to empathise with people, but also HR is becoming more and more data reliant over the years as we progress. So it really isn't something if you're sat there thinking, maybe and more data analytics, and there's real sort of niche that you can kind of move into with HR of that as well. So I would definitely think that you should still look through the HR role as something that you'd be interested in. I would say that the stuff that you mentioned earlier, Wendy, around the Be Inclusive programs that we have, if that's something that you're sat here today thinking that's something I'm really passionate about, then I would definitely consider the HR program, because that's something that you'll be able to really get down to the policies that we implement on a regular basis to really make those inclusive and as beneficial for the entire Bentley workforce as much as possible.
Fantastic. And that's the level 5 HR consultant partner that they will end up with that qualification. Depending on what entry requirements they come in, we're not sure whether that's going to be between a 2 and a 3 or maybe a 4-year program, depending on the individual. So thanks for that, Ben. Really appreciate that. Sharon, so you have been, you've got 2 cohorts of apprentices, level 2. Do you want to tell us about them and what apprentices will be doing in your function? What does your function do?
Yeah, so the first year we took on 4 apprentices, and they've now been put on placements into other areas to learn about the business. So when they first come in with me, what we start is they'll be part of a 60-strong team that I've actually got in my area, and they'll learn all about the interior of the car. So from start to finish, building the seats up, learning to use different sewing machines, and then we've got the decorative stitch at the end that they can actually do with the hand sewing as well. So the guys get involved with all the processes on a moving production line. So they'll learn a 9-minute window of work that then follows down through a team, so they become part of a team member. So we do one-to-one training off the area. We've actually got our own area set up now for the apprentices so that they can have this hands-on experience and then go on the production line after and take part in the team build, teamwork. So the guys have settled in quite well. We have all genders on there. There's no discrimination against anybody, young, old. There's all different walks on there, and everybody gets on really, really well. It's a good team working environment.
Yeah, fantastic, because we've had a couple of apprentices join us on the roadshow recently, just describing what they've been doing, and their first years. But we've got a second year here today. There's an LMO, Harry. So what do you do? Which function are you working in, Harry?
Yeah, so I'm starting the wood shop last September, but currently I'm on a placement within Kaizen. So just shows you opportunities and offer within the company, to move around. So if the job wasn't what you expected, you didn't enjoy it as much as you like to. There's 4,000 people that work here. There's plenty of different jobs, around it.
Great. Just to move on to, we just realised we've just missed one of our amazing apprentice managers. Just going to quickly go back to our final apprentice manager. Do you mind quickly introducing yourself and also give us an overview of what your department does as well?
Yeah, it's Jeremy Taylor. As I said earlier, we run the whole vehicle attributes and competitor analysis team. So what we're trying to do is understand how our competitors perform today, how our Bentleys compare to those. But we're looking ahead, really. So it takes a long time to develop a car, five years maybe. So we need to understand what our competitors are doing today and try and predict what they're going to be doing in the future, what level of performance they're going to have, what level of technology, and so on. So we run events where we get a number of cars in from competitors. We drive those back to back and we assess them with Bentleys. We then look at where we think the technology trends are going. What are those cars likely to be in 5 years' time when our new car comes out? And that allows us to set really good targets for the performance of our future cars. So if you're into cars, it's a pretty cool job. We get to spend a lot of time with cars. There's also a lot of kind of data analysis, looking at engineering trends, technology trends, that sort of thing.
Fantastic. It sounds really interesting. And yours is the electrical apprenticeship, or are you doing the project?
Product design and development.
Your product design and development engineer. So in engineering, it's called the R&D function. We have got the manufacturing engineering apprenticeship, and we've also got the product design development engineer, and we've got the electrical one. So please go onto that link that we shared earlier to find out more detail, so that if you've got any questions for the managers while we've got them on, they can answer those questions for you. So I'm going to go to the apprentices now a little bit more. So Toby, tell us a bit more about how you balance your study and work projects in your apprenticeship.
Well, the university lays out all the exams that are coming up, so I'll look ahead and then block my time out accordingly if I think I may need it. So I'll block it out before anyone else does. In terms of like balancing it, my boss is always pretty supportive with things. So if I'm, say, a bit late on an assignment and I need a bit of extra time out of Bentley, they're always pretty good about giving me a couple hours here and there just to get it finished. Yeah. It's about sort of managing time, yeah.
So you study online at the University of Cumbria?
Fully online, yeah.
Yeah, fully online, and it's absolutely different for you, Melanie, and Neve. So, Melanie, over to you. How does your program of training provider deliver yours, and how do you balance your study and work projects?
So I'm at Warwick University, and for me, it's half online and half in person, which is quite a good balance. So we do block weeks, so we do it once every month or 2 months, so that could be online or in person. And I find what really helps is they give us a timetable of when our exams and assignments are coming up, so I can show this to my manager. And what's really good at Bentley is everyone is really supportive. If I've got a deadline coming up, we can work around my work commitments to make sure that I can work and put my attention on university if need be.
Amazing, thank you. Same question to you, Neve.
Mine's basically the exact same as Melanie's, except I'm at Keele Uni. So similar concept in every couple of months we have a week or two, either online or on campus. But we also have, again, a work schedule that gets given to us that tells us when we should be completing lectures and practical tasks. So I use these timetables to essentially block time out in my calendar each week or once every couple of weeks. And then I'll take this time to dedicate it directly to university work as opposed to normal work. But I take the approach of using that time for university more towards when I have assignments due, because sometimes throughout the year when there's like half terms throughout the semesters, I don't need to be doing uni work, so I'll use that time elsewhere. So I'll just manage time really, and then I'll also do some. You have to do uni work at the weekends as well, because you won't be able to do it all within the 20%. So it's just really about making sure that you're organised, but also making sure that you're working efficiently.
Amazing. What about you, David?
Yeah, I'd agree with Neve on that last point. You do have to do it on the weekends, so it's making sure you manage it effectively. One thing no one's really touched on is you do get 20% off the job training, which means 1 day a week, or however you add it up, you get 20% every week to do your university work, which is really beneficial. It really does allow you to actually get some time and not just manage it accordingly. You have a day dedicated to university, which I always find quite useful. As with the supply chain leadership degree, that is, again, blocked. Sometimes it's in person, sometimes it's online. And with university, sometimes it's very busy, sometimes it's a bit quiet with regards to when it's the start of the year versus exam season. So I think the key is just to be able to adapt to the changes and manage time accordingly.
Great, thank you. So it's completely different for you then, Harry, isn't it? When you were training, you had set days, didn't you? How was yours set out?
Yeah, so like I said, mine's completely different to the others. So I had around 2 days every month where an external company would come into the business and teach us about lean manufacturing. And we also had around like 20% of the job training as well. So it was like half a day a week, just catching up on any college work or doing any courses that the business might set you.
Amazing, thank you. So why did you choose an apprenticeship route? I'll throw this over to Neve first.
So for me personally, I learn better by doing. So I decided that going to university wouldn't really be the best plan for me because it's more just technical knowledge learning as opposed to actually doing the practical side of things. So like implementing it into the job. So I decided that university wouldn't work. So my other option was either straight into a job or into an apprenticeship. So I just decided that I'd rather work and earn money at the same time and learn on the job as opposed to going to uni, coming out with debt and then having to go through the process of applying for a job. I also think apprenticeships are a lot more beneficial to people because if you were to come out of university straight from uni with no business experience, you have to go in and learn all of that from the start. Whereas if you go through an apprenticeship route, you're learning all of that as you go. And when you get to the end of your degree or level 4 qualification, you've got to come out and there's people that are head and shoulders above you. So I just think it stands you above the rest of the competition in like the work area, and it also you're earning money at the same time and you're getting your degree paid for. So it was a bit of a no-brainer for me, really.
Great. Has any of the apprentices got any different story of why they joined for an apprenticeship?
A bit of a different story, but kind of similar. I just wrote down pros and cons when I was deciding. Pros of going university, pros of doing an apprenticeship, and then cons, and the apprenticeship massively outweighed the pure university side of things. So it was quite a simple decision for me, and that's how I came to my conclusion of going down this route.
Fantastic. Have you got any top tips, managers, for what you're looking for in your apprentice applications? Question over to Ben.
Yeah, so in terms of applications from my perspective, I'm really looking for that experience as well that you've tried to gain outside of your general studies that you've had up to this point. So I do want to know about your hobbies, your interests, the things that make you individual and will make your CV stand out. As you understand, particularly in my field in HR, I've seen thousands of CVs and it quite clearly comes up, and it's very easy to notice when people haven't put themselves into that CV. I want to know about what makes you an individual. And like when you said at the start, when you were talking about what we were looking for and the types of things which you're applying, really consider that in terms of what will make an individual, one of us managers here today, when we're looking at your CV, what will make us stop and reread it again because we find it interesting. If it's not rereadable, then it's something that you really need to work on.
Fantastic, thank you. And Sharon, what is it that you're looking for? Because obviously yours is a level 2 apprenticeship as opposed to a degree apprenticeship. So what is it that you're looking for in those 16 plus?
Yeah, so it's hard when you put down on a piece of paper to get about an individual. So try and imagine that we don't know who you are when we're looking at these applications. Put things that you're interested in, show that you're confident and you're willing to be part of a team who's willing to have a go and try. And that's all we're looking for. we'll then give you the skills to back all that up. All we need is you as an individual to show us that's what you want.
And you do something slightly different with your assessment, don't you? Because you do like a practical element.
Yeah, so once you've got through the initial first stages, what we do is actually invite you on site to do a practical assessment. So we'll take you through the basics of a sewing machine and then give you one-to-one support with one of the team leaders who will actually give you a go, which gives you an understanding then the sort of work content that you'll be wanting to do. And then it gives us a basic of knowledge of where we think you are and then what we can do to improve on that and to give you the skills that you need on a production line, which I think is good for both parties. So it gives you an understanding as well. What we try and do is show you around the area, introduce you to some of the other colleagues so you get a feel of what it's actually like on the shop floor.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to talk about it, because it is slightly different to the technical process that I was talking about earlier. You don't expect them to do a presentation. It's more of a practical, isn't it, that you're interested in? And like you say, it's not for them to feel worried about. It's really just to give them an insight into exactly what it is that they'll be doing. So, Jeremy, what are you looking for? What's your top tip on the application form?
I think same as the others, to some extent, though, making it stand out. And what I want to see is passion, kind of passion to learn, and also passion for cars and the industry as well. We need someone who's going to be reading and digesting a lot of information about different cars, our competitors and technology. And I think if you don't have a fundamental interest in it, you probably struggle with that. So if you can try and convey that passion for learning and for the industry and the technology, that would make it stand out.
Yeah, we've had some real cracking portfolios of people with their CVs explaining about engineering projects they got involved in. Absolutely amazing, really blown away. And like you say, it doesn't matter how much information they give you. If you're proud of something, you want to see it. Carl, what about yourself? Have you got any top tips that you're looking for in your application?
Yeah, it's very similar, really. You need to try and make yourself stand out. It's easy to talk about all your studies, that's very important, but everybody will be showing all that. And we need to see, where you've taken initiative, where you've done something, if you're doing some voluntary work or if you've done something outside. Job experience is always a good one to look at. We're looking at someone who is driven, can show a passion towards something. And even if you're struggling with that, look at what you've done in your studies. You may have done some activity where you've led it or you've done something special in there. Enhance on that. And obviously talking about the passion for Bentley. So we mentioned before about cover letters. We need to see about why you want to come here. And again, tied in what Jeremy said, you've got to be passionate about cars, passionate about wanting to join this company. And yeah, it's really seeing that stand out on the page, and we'll go through a lot of applications. You've got to think about that. What's going to make me stand out? And so those little bits of information about what you've done, how you've excelled at something or pushed yourself would be useful for sure.
Yeah, definitely. That's great. Some great answers there. And I guess my question now very much links to the one to the hiring managers, but this is for the apprentices. We'll start with yourself, Melanie. So what did you put on your application that made you stand out from other people, do you think?
I think what helped me was I really wanted to get involved when I was still at school, so I went on work experience with 2 different engineering companies. So putting this on my CV, I think it made me stand out as I got some experience already and a foundation of some knowledge that could be carry over to bring into my apprenticeship. And also putting out some of my hobbies outside of work, such as like playing sports and languages that I've learned. So putting a bit outside your studies is really important, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree with that. And Toby, was there anything that you put on your application that you think that made you stand out?
Apart from a few different work experiences, Duke of Edinburgh put down.
Amazing.
I actually focused in on one particular work experience, which was truck washing. It's not a glamorous job at all, but it showed them that I could do work at all different levels. And that I was a hard worker because it was like 7 till 5 outside all day. And I actually focused a lot of my interview on that, and they quite liked it. If you've got some work experience that you think, that's not very glamorous, or that's not going to maybe have an impact, put it down, because that did for me. So yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely agree there. So it's been really good talking to you guys, obviously on the panel. But I'm conscious of time, and we want to obviously answer some questions that are in the Q&A section. So I'm just going to have a quick look at one to pass over. My question is, hello, you okay?
Yes, if you just gone on to the questions, do you want me to just go for them and then you can answer away?
Yeah, that's great, thank you.
That'll work better. So we'll crack on into them. First question we have here is by Hamza. Would HR include copywriting, coding, and marketing?
So our HR placement wouldn't include of copyright coding. We do a lot of marketing to the business itself. So a big part of my team's role is working closely with the comms team, where we have process, policy changes, things that we need to make people aware of in terms of how to interact with HR, pay deal changes and things like that. So that from a marketing perspective, we have to market all of the benefits, and we do offer a really good rounded offering of benefits and compensation packages across the business. We have to market those to prospective people for joining the company, but also to people who are currently with the company in terms of retention and making sure that they want to stay with Bentley. So that's kind of where we focus on in terms of marketing.
Lovely. A question from Amy now. Are any of the apprenticeships available for body and paint repair?
Did anyone hear that?
No, there's no paint repair, but there will be some apprenticeships that are with regards to the product design and development. I'm sure that you'll, like you say, touch every part of the placements and things like that. So, but not directly onto the body and paint work. No.
Lovely. A question from David. Here's the apprenticeships. What is the typical career path for someone who's completed an apprenticeship program?
So it really depends on what that apprenticeship program is. So say, for example, if it's in my team from a HR perspective, once you've completed that apprenticeship, we'd want to either look to say, would you go down a generalist route and do working across, supporting a specific business area and have everything across HR? Or would you go to more of a specialist approach and really focus on reward and compensation or case management and labour relations? And I think that, hopefully, try not to speak for everyone else, that would apply to a lot of different apprenticeships, is that at the end of that apprenticeship, the way that Bentley is growing and progressing as a company, there will be a wealth of opportunities for that person at the end of that apprenticeship. It's all about how the prospective person applies themselves through their apprenticeship. They will get an opportunity to work closely with many of our colleagues and get an opportunity to leave a very lasting impression. And that will then allow them to open the doors in the rest of Bentley, but also in the rest of the VW group, which I really need to push and mention that we are part of that wide group that has many, many opportunities globally.
Amazing. Here's a question from Nate. Can you provide any examples of former apprentices who have gone on to successful careers within the company? There you go.
So I actually came in as a craft apprentice, went into engineering eventually, and now an engineering manager. So it's shown the progress for me. So sort of over a period of time, I've been engineering manager for quite a few years now. So that's one example. But there are quite a few other people I'm aware of in management, in progressive roles that come in as an apprentice to start off with. So a lot of people that have Bentley retained through that process.
Amazing.
And we've won the the Top Employer Award again for the 12th year running. And you've got a great statistic, haven't you, Ash, to share about the...
Yeah, so I think, and Ben might know this one as well in a little bit more detail, but I recently found out that the average length of service of someone within Bentley is between 12 and 14 years. So I guess that just shows how much people enjoy working at Bentley and want to stay here, which I think is really cool.
Amazing. Question from Joseph. What's the difference between a whole car degree apprenticeship and a whole vehicle degree apprenticeship?
It's different words.
Go on, Jeremy, can you answer that one?
Yeah, I think it's the same role, just using different words.
Okay.
A question from Jessica. I applied to one of your degree apprenticeships already. However, I'm just wondering, would you recommend applying to a couple of apprenticeships I'm interested in within Bentley, or just applying to one?
You can only apply for one apprenticeship on our Bentley Careers website that you choose from, but obviously, you know, it's worth you applying to multiple companies and put yourself out there.
Yeah, just to add on to that as well, I guess if you apply for one, it also shows that that is exactly what you're interested in. It shows that you're very specific of what you want and kind of got that laser focus. So that always stands you in good stead as well.
Amazing. Question from Finley. Are Bentley considering going the synthetic fuel route over electrification?
So Bentley is committed to full electrification by 2030.
Amazing.
Yeah, and hybrid by 2026, I understand.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff.
So it's a big push at the minute. It's the new era, if you like, for electric vehicles. So it's a big area obviously we're into, and recyclability, everything else we're looking at in terms of recycling materials. We're obviously looking at in the design of the car as well.
Amazing. Question from Lee. What opportunities would be here in the US as far as apprenticeships and production? Obviously, I'm not sure how much you would know about the American side of things.
So the apprenticeships, the apprenticeship levy is for UK, right? You've got to have a right to work in the UK to be able to sign up for an apprenticeship in England and with Bentley. So you have to go through those checks, and I would go into the Institute for Apprenticeships, which are on the link to any of those on the presentation. It directly takes you to the Institute for Apprenticeships, and they will be able to do a check on your circumstances on there for you.
Amazing. Question from Poppy now. Do you find it challenging, both qualification and full-time work?
It has been challenging. I suppose it was challenging when I started, but when I got better at time management, not at all, because I found people supported me all the time at Bentley if I needed to do my studies as well as work. So I think it's worked out really well in that I'm applying my studies into work and managing my time well.
Thank you. Question from Isaac. Do the apprentices receive personal skills training from Bentley, such as presentation skills, commercial awareness, etc.?
Absolutely. So all colleagues in the business are have any development available to them, and you know that there's no different to the early career colleagues. If anything, we focus on those kind of skills right at the beginning to help you know, strengthen them right from the start. So, but that goes for any colleague that's doing an apprenticeship or any development.
Okay, lovely. Question from Vicky now. Are there opportunities to gain work experience with Bentley whilst in form?
Sorry, did you hear that?
Is that a question surrounding work experience, would you say, sorry?
Yes.
Yes, so we do have a work experience programme. It will be live on our careers website around May time, and we're looking at hosting 1 week work experience in July, but that will be going live in future.
But if they look on our Bentley Careers website, we also have some links for the virtual work experience, which is available for any school that is connected with Speakers for Schools. So we do virtual work experience as well for 14 plus.
Okay, thank you. Here's a question from Natalie. Now, I'm a teacher watching with my year 10 class. Hello, class. They are very interested in apprenticeships through Bentley. They want to prepare for when they finish their GCSEs next year so they can apply and have the best chance. Students would like to know what qualifications are needed to be able to get onto the level 3 apprenticeships and what kind of GCSE grades would you be expecting? Do you take on many apprenticeships once completed for full-time positions? Obviously, we know that one completed, but...
So the qualifications for level 2 and 3 for the 16 plus, you have to have a level 4, grade 4 in your English and maths, plus 3 other qualifications. That is what we require at Bentley as a minimum. For your degree and higher apprenticeships, that's slightly different. So the higher apprenticeships, you can just have the GCSEs, but you may have already a BTEC level 3, which is brilliant, and that would just fast track you on the HR process and the finance one. But for a degree, it has to be specific between the universities on UCAS points. So that would mean that you would need to have either between 104 and 120 UCAS points, depending on which apprenticeship that you applied for. Now, I know that specifically the Warwick one, you need an A level in maths, and so that's the only specific with regards to the engineering qualifications. But everybody else is level grade 4 and above, English and maths, and 3 other GCSEs.
Amazing. Thank you. Well, unfortunately, that is all we have time for. If there is any questions that you would like to keep asking our Bentley team, I'll offer you guys. How would they like to? How would they message you to maybe ask them queries?
Well, we have got obviously some virtual work experience, as I said, and we've got some, sessions where we'll be going to different universities and open days. So look out on our Bentley Careers website for opportunities to come and speak to us at those events.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much. Guys, thanks for joining us and taking you through your offering, sharing your experiences and answering the people's questions. Hope you all found it insightful, everyone that was in the chat, and useful. The rules are also advertised on our CareerMap website, and if you did miss anything, this was all recorded and it will be on our website and YouTube in the coming week. Do you have any final words of advice, guys, for our listeners?
Just for the final words, I'd just like to say thank you very much for joining us for this hour. I hope we've given you some insightful information. As I said, please download the pack, which is on the QR code in the presentation on this webinar today, and that will hopefully send you straight to the links directly to the Institute for Apprenticeships. So thanks very much for everybody, and thanks for joining us, Bentley colleagues.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.